All right, Glenn, so this is my final reflection. I'm going to have the questions here, and then I have a little prompt here to kind of help me. What is your philosophy on inclusion, and what does inclusion mean to you? My philosophy on inclusion is that everyone has a fair and equal chance at getting the appropriate level of education necessary for them to be successful in our world today. I chose the topic of SEL and making it more inclusive for all. And I chose SEL because I think SEL and teaching social and emotional learning can meet the needs of all students if done correctly, which was shown in the multiple articles that we read. I believe that if SEL is done correctly, like being introduced in the classroom at the beginning of the year, very strategically, and dedicating several class days to building the culture and the identity of what that class will be, I believe it can be the most effective. And if we do that in the classroom where all the students are in it, we can make it appropriate by all by asking students what are their cultures of learning. How can we bring those cultures into the classroom for them to be successful, for them to see themselves as academic learners within the classroom and themselves in the classroom. So how does this topic relate to your philosophy on inclusion? Like I said, I feel that SEL can tie in everyone together if done well, that everyone can kind of see them identity, themselves, their culture within the classroom, and feel that SEL can do that. How will this knowledge of this topic help your center of inclusion in your work? How will knowledge of this topic better serve your future students? By building this classroom structure, so when I say using it at the beginning of the year, I mean the first day of class, asking what does it mean to be a successful learner for you? What do you need in order to succeed? And getting to know the students on an individual level and kind of introducing themselves to me. And then the class days after that is us as a class, us as a community, building the practices that will allow them to succeed. So what classroom norms do all need to live? Do some people like to move around? Do people do better sitting and listening? Do people like standing up and taking notes, and really trying to blend all of this into one blended classroom? Besides teaching, I think that's sometimes a downfall of SELs. And a question that I have is, besides teaching colorblind topics, does SEL need to follow a specific school curriculum or a curriculum that all schools can follow and practice? And I think the trouble with SEL is that it's too broad and that it doesn't fit the need of the students within the classroom or whoever's really teaching the topics of SEL. A high-level income school, right, in topics of SEL may be different and should be different than a school with a lower income family. And the struggles and the fears that those two types of students are facing, a lot of that may be the same because they're students, but also they could be different because of the communities they live in. And are we teaching the best SEL practices for all those kids? And then really my action plan is take first class to get to know my students, their hopes and dreams, and what levels of success they need to meet success in the classroom. And then over the next few days, have a very structured classroom classes of what is the classroom norms, how is everyone going to succeed, what qualities can we all agree to, and then kind of after those two classes, we check in throughout the year, so we always come back to it, check in as a group, check in individually, and again, it's not graded. This part's not graded, but kind of introducing it to them as this is for me and for my grade and how I'm doing of building an inclusive classroom. And lastly, because I'm a history teacher, it's whatever topic I'm teaching, there's no whitewashing, there's no holding back the truth, but giving all perspectives. So again, students are getting the real truth and not just a watered down version of what happened. Thank you so much.